All good. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 23 of Irresponsibly Long. Thank you all for joining us. Those of you who are here live on the YouTubes, as per usual, 5 p.m. Pacific, Thursday nights. We get here together. We draw the lines on the charts. We vibe. We've got the backlights today.
God,
looking good.
Your voice is nice and deep and baritone. It's sexual with this lighting. This lighting's amazing.
Do I sound better?
You sound better. You look better.
Oh man,
this lighting is epic.
I can't see myself. Okay, we got. I think the lights are. We got the wrong lights in here today. Does it look okay? Whatever. This is me. I am who I am. Sorry about the dearth of waiting room beats, guys. I had to set up the entire stream from scratch over again because none of the settings were saved. And in the process, I seem to have lost the fat EDM beats. But we fixed it. So we're good. Shout out to everybody who's joining us today. I see some familiar faces. What's up, Nick Kangos? Ergies. Am I pronouncing that right? Oh, we got David Johansson in the chat.
The legend
himself, the ICT day trading guru, Mr. 1 second chart.
Yeah, trading the 1 second chart most times.
Love it. What's up, Hookem? How are you? Jake, how you doing, man? Thank you for checking out the channel. Hookem, dead cat bounce? It's a question mark. We're asking the question.
But you said dad cat bounce.
Did I say dad cat bounce?
That's a question. Just a question, man.
Did I say dad cat bounce? Is that the title?
That's the title.
Is this a dad cat bounce? That's the title. Hold up. Could I edit that real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead and edit that. I thought you were doing some kind of joke, to be honest. I was like, is this some kind of new term? Crypto term? There he goes, editing.
We're editing. I should just leave it. It's probably good clickbait.
Yeah, dad cat bounce is going to get a ton of clicks.
Dad cat bounce. It's a new kind of bounce, baby.
Well, while we're waiting on Steven to update, why don't we go ahead and like the stream, guys? Give us a like, please.
Smash that button.
Smash that like button.
Smash it. Smash the like button. If you are not subscribed on YouTube, please come over to YouTube at Irresponsibly Long Pod and subscribe. Trying to pump those numbers up, baby. Yeah, okay. So I might just, I don't know if it's, it updated. Okay. I should have left it. Like back in the day when I used to run Facebook ads for the ecom products, you used to get like insane click-through rates by just spelling the word wrong.
Really?
Oh yeah, like people just cannot help clicking on stuff when the word is spelled wrong. It just drives people's brains.
Just go
crazy.
back.
And then in the comments they have to tell you that you spelled the word wrong and you're dumb. Yeah. And then Facebook is like, wow, look at all this engaging comments. This must be a great ad.
What a hack!
Free clicks. I don't know if that works anymore, boys, but. Feel free to try it out. Dad cat bounce. We're gonna make t-shirts now. Okay, so last week we had to cut the stream short a little bit. It was a long stream anyway. It was the end.
We went pretty long.
It was the end. It was basically the end. But I had to run out of here in a frenzy because one of you told me that somebody was nuking.
Yeah, the bombs. The bombs had dropped.
I forgot. Was it that wasn't Iran nuking Israel? That was Israel. Well, not literally nuking.
No, that was Iran.
Israel was bombing Iran.
No, that was the Iran one.
No, the Iran one happened when I was in Spain, and then last week's episode I came back.
You're right.
Israel retaliated. I went home. I slept about 45 minutes that night.
You just immediately shorted the market.
I did, and then I unshorted it, and I just longed everything.
Yeah.
So standard night. Yeah, for those of you who missed that, I mean, it became apparent pretty quickly on the Twitters that Iran was kind of pretending like nothing happened.
Yeah. It was like, oh, it's done already.
Yeah, and we were like, is that it? And so yeah, I bought some 60K-ish Bitcoins, and I've been riding them for a little bit.
Yeah,
good trade at least. I don't know if we're gonna hold those to 100K, but
Prices got pretty juicy. I saw like Solana went down to, I don't know, one.
During the original nuke, I picked one up, price nuke. I gotta stop throwing this word around.
Right. Yeah, good catch.
The original price nuke, yeah, I grabbed some at like 115 on the perps, which is lower than it even traded spot Coinbase. So
yeah, very nice.
Yeah, but I sold them. It's already sold.
Good gain.
Yeah, paper hands.
It's a good gain.
Whatever.
I think you should take that.
Whatever, man. Dude, so on the way over here, I had to stop for food, which I haven't eaten yet because it's just sitting over there on the side, just a nice bowl of chicken.
Getting cold.
I'm so hungry. So hungry right now. So yeah, I stopped to pick up this chicken, and I looked at the windshield in my car, and there's like a ticket. Well, not just one ticket. There's like a CVS receipt full of tickets.
Wait, that all just happened today?
No, it happened the other night, and I just didn't notice it.
Oh no!
And I realized. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm colorblind. In case you couldn't tell from my charts. The other night, I accidentally parked in a red zone because I thought it was green.
No.
So I got a massive.
Damn, those are expensive.
Got a massive handicap ticket, and then he hit me with the expired registration ticket again. I have like 6 expired registration tickets now. I need to.
Yeah, you got to fix that.
Oh man.
Is that gonna compel you now to like actually register your car?
I think I need to go back home and put on the expired dealer plate.
that's
like
your answer.
That's the main lesson I've learned. I never got a ticket with that stupid thing on.
Okay.
Oh my God, what a shit show. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about the markets, shall we?
Yeah, so let's dig into it.
Let's dig. Let's do a little digging. It's been a roller coaster week in the Nasdaq.
Oh my gosh, it sure has.
Let me pull up the old NQ chart.
Sure has, bud.
Oh baby, this is our chart from last week. Still got it. So I think I talked about how last week I was kind of expecting a bounce from around this sort of 17,400-ish level. We kind of sent through it a little bit, but we are bouncing now. Facebook destroyed us the other day with earnings.
God, that was so
or Meta. Sorry,
that was so weird. So did you actually did you catch up on those earnings, or you just just watching
I just
candles?
saw like candle, and I was like, ooh.
So those earnings were fucking bonkers. Like,
catch me up.
So Facebook is $1 trillion business, and it increased revenue by 27%. Like, that is not a bad report.
Seems good.
It's fucking
seems good.
It's fucking incredible. And the market hated it, of course. I guess there's always some reason, like if it's not the actual results, then it's like the guidance, and if it's not the guidance, well then it's like CapEx, or there's always some fucking reason. But
what was the reason? Did you even know?
Yeah, I think this narrative was about just their guidance.
Oh, dude, there
forward.
it is. I was looking at the chart. I was like, oh, I don't see the candle. Then I'm like, oh,
it's all the way down there.
Oh shit. Okay, so this bad boy. Wow, that's a hell of a day. So we went negative 18.5%.
Yeah, that
one daily range.
Yeah, the 18. It was like down that far in after hours trading, and I was watching it, and I was texting my partner Dave, and he was just like, "Oh God, here we go."
Oh God.
I know.
Well, if you zoom out, it doesn't look so bad, I guess.
Just.
Do you own any Meta?
Yeah, I do. This is my favorite company in the Mag 7 right now.
Oh,
I love it.
What do you like about it?
Man, so much. Actually, if you're ever gone, or maybe I can do it when you're here, but when I went on that Tulum trip, one of the guys who was on that trip was VP of comms at Facebook or Meta, and he's like, if you ever want to talk about that on the show, I can give you all the talking points that we're going to go through. He writes the earnings calls and stuff. He's like, I can give you all the reasons why you should like this thing. And he was going through it with me. And I'm like, yeah, I would probably like those points.
All right.
Yeah,
we should do that. I mean, I have a feeling we may have some downtime over the next quarter or two, as I've mentioned.
If we go sideways.
We'll talk about that a little bit. I know I dropped that on you guys as the charts were changing in front of me. But yeah, I mean, one of the main reasons I kind of feel that way is is the Nasdaq chart, right? You know, so for those of you who don't know, I mean, Bitcoin at this point is just like a gigantic kind of leveraged Nasdaq trade.
Seems like it
has been for a while. We like to think it is and will decouple, but I see no decoupling yet. You know, and Nasdaq looks pretty ugly to me. All stock market, Nasdaq, S&P, whatever, but the NQ, the Qs, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, we talked about how I was looking for it. You know, best case scenario, you know, like 16.6 or so on the NQs, but the Qs, but then possibly like a move all the way down here to 14s, which would be a little bit bloody. That's another
that would
17 or so % down.
That would sting.
Here.
I'm not positioned for that.
I don't think anybody is. That's the kind of thing that worries me. It's like I don't like being on the same side of the boat as everybody.
Yeah.
You know, last summer was not on the same side of the boat. A little nerve-wracking, but felt okay. Now it's just like I keep I just feel like the butterfly meme guy. Like I'm just looking around like, is this complacency? This is like the main
dude. You're like, you just love being contrarian, I think.
I mean, not really. I was like a boltard for the entirety of the year, right? And I think everybody was kind of a boltard, you know. So it's selective. I do have a bit of a contrarian mind, I think.
Yeah. Which
is good if you're. I think if you're going to be a trader, you have to be like, is everybody wrong?
Yeah.
You know, all the time. It's hard to make. You know, I shouldn't say that. It's actually easy to make money when you're on the same side. It's
follow.
It's called trend following.
Yeah.
I hate when people say that. I just repeated it just because like it was a thing in my head, but actually it's not true. It's very easy to make money following the herd, but at a certain point you can get wrecked. You have to know when to get out of Dodge. So, yeah, a really ugly weekly candle on stocks last week. That candle doesn't look to me like it's just gonna like yo-yo back up and everything's gonna be fine. Usually. That's a big expansion candle. Usually implies we're going lower. Aside from some exogenous event like Jerome just says something fucking crazy, or Janet just decides to do some weird shenanigans. You know, like any sort of event like that. Obviously, we could be reverse, and everything should be fine. But that's hopium, and you know we're not.
Yeah.
Dealing on hope.
Well, I feel like I'm probably getting a little complacent because I'm in the mind when I saw even Meta and everything, I was like, oh, that's probably a buying opportunity. And I'm also thinking like this is just like a healthy pullback at this point. You know, I'm probably demonstrating that complacency.
Yeah, we're like, dip, buy dip. I see dip, I buy dip. You know, you're just like the monkey.
Right. And it's
monkey.
Like it's worked for so long too.
Yeah. Yeah, and you. And at the beginning of this, like if you can kind of teleport yourself back, like the thing pumped and like you didn't want to buy, and when there was a dip, you were like, nope, that's it, it's going lower, it's going low, it's going to new lows, and then eventually the market goes like, oh wait, I buy dip, I make money, and everybody does that, and then it stops working.
Well, we had some more earnings come out since, you know, like today.
I saw a nice candle today. I was looking at my computer and then I saw a candle and I was like, ooh, who had earnings? And it was Microsoft.
We had Microsoft and Google. I mean, many others. There was like in the last 48 hours, there was 1,100 companies reporting earnings. So Google and Microsoft were the most prominent.
Be interesting. So we'll see how the market reacts to that, I guess. But like as of now, my generalized plan on stonks is like if I get a pullback into kind of this 1,800-ish area, even a little higher.
A dad cat bounce, perhaps.
If we get a little dad cat bounce here. Definitely looking to hedge with some poots.
Yeah.
You guys are aware that like I think I talked in detail about my Coinbase hedging plan last week. So not gonna talk about that again too much.
But you did good on. You've done well on these so far.
The puts are the short calls. They are printing right now. It's doing well. Nothing too new to report to you guys there. If you want a little bit of a coin analysis, you can check out last week's episode. I talked about it in a little more detail.
I'm also on the opposite side of that trade. I'm selling puts and buying calls. So like the little inverse of you.
Well, I mean, we got earnings next week, right? Is that next week already?
Yeah.
May 2nd?
May 2nd.
May 2nd. So keep an eye out for that. I'm, like I think we talked about maybe it's a kind of like a good sell the news opportunity or a de-risking opportunity if you happen to be like overly exposed. I don't really care. Like, look, like zooming out, I still think all this stuff is going higher.
Okay, this was my favorite thing that we talked about on last pod, where it's like, we all know that the market is going to pump higher going into November, probably. So it's like, this is, probably. Nothing's certain, but like, this is all kind of just like, we're all playing a game of chicken to be like, oh, let's squeeze out some more gains on the downside before we go back to up mode.
Yeah, or just looking at what is the risk reward from here. Like, how good is your risk reward buying, $66,000 Bitcoin if that's where we are tomorrow or the day after,
right.
Versus what can happen.
Yeah, I think that's a great question and a great way to put it.
You want to shade your exposure based on the risk reward. Like, you don't always want to be like 100% balls long in,
unless you like hold for 7 years or something. You're that guy.
Yeah, I'm talking about the type of person who is like more. I'm sure most of the people who listen to this podcast didn't just click buy on Bitcoin 8 years ago and then log off. Like,
they're trading.
They're here like asking me about like meme coins and
there's a lot of meme coins in here.
Jasmy coin. What the hell is Jasmy coin, by the way? Somebody just drop that in the chat.
You got to give a little context to that.
So maybe we'll look at that later. I don't know what it is though. So a fair warning. So I think people are thinking about this, and like when the risk reward gets not as good, you have to shave off some exposure. I'm not saying like sell everything, but like just take some profits, move into some cash. Like,
yeah, and I like the TradFi version of that, where you can like maintain your long exposure and hedge using options or something. Like with the coins, it's harder. Mm-hmm. I guess you could like do some perp stuff and hold spot.
Yeah. So I guess the TLDR of everything is there's some shenanigans going on with rates. There's a bit of a risk off market. It looks like we are on the path to possibly not having rate cuts, possibly on the path to rate hikes, more rate hikes.
Yeah. Well, PCA came in a little hot.
Yeah. Like there's the potential we get into this sort of like game of chicken again with the bond market, right? And like if we start seeing like the 10-year creeping up, eventually like our money printing overlords are going to have to make a particular decision. And like I think we all know that like this just ends at QE basically.
Yeah,
ultimately. Yeah. When does that happen? Like I don't know. Like maybe that happens years from now, and if you're just like I'm long because QE, like that could be a lot of pain to eat. But that could be like a 2-month thing or a 3-month. Like I don't know, but it's sort of the path I see us going. We had our nice little kind of echo bubble pop on like the hope of this. Like this happens a lot. The market sees the narrative, right? And everybody jumps on it, and then people overextend, but it doesn't play out quite yet. And everybody goes like, "Oh shit!" And then we kind of retrace. But that narrative is still there. Sometimes it just needs to breathe. It needs time to play out. The market needs to wash out some people. So
that's what I think.
Still a bull, but I'm not getting wrecked over here. I'll be perfectly happy if we like rip up and I'm only like half exposed, like boohoo.
I saw on I think it was on the latest Animal Spirits, they showed this chart that said only 2 times in the last 100 years did the S&P not have one of these like retraces, like a 5% retrace. Healthy pullback, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I like to see other things like from a technical perspective. Like when you have a pullback, you like to see like sort of like orderly selling into an obvious demand zone, and then you go up, right? You don't want to see like up only candles and then like a really large sell off, like with the like mega displacement. That's not necessarily healthy. Right. Like that's often the first.
That's the signal
warning shot of like you about to get fucked, right? Like so. Something to keep in mind. The general vibe I've gathered from the Discord is not one of like extreme panic or even like sadness or anything.
Right, like there's sort of like no bearishness.
Yeah,
at
people
all.
feel it's kind of which is where the complacency thing kind of worries me a little bit.
I'm one of them.
People should be worried a little bit. You should be a little bit worried.
Yeah,
I know this. I know the show is titled with a lack of responsibility, but
yeah,
it's just a meme. Please please think about it a little bit. Anyway, yeah, Bitcoin. This is still just a range. It's a range, guys. This is nothing more until it shows us some more some more price action here. What is kind of interesting to me is that we took kind of you see this monthly low down here. Talk about this monthly low a lot. This March low.
Yeah.
We cleared out all of the liquidity except for that March low. And typically when I am trading and I see sort of the bottom of a range purged, I expect price to kind of make its way back towards the top of the range and explore that.
Sweep some liquidity on the top of it.
Yeah, and I think if you want to draw sort of like a monthly range here, right? This is basically like last month's range. We bounced off the mid range yesterday and sold off, which is completely expected. We also, I actually took profits here because this is last week's high, right? So price hits these levels, it sells off. It's something that's to be expected. So nothing crazy there. I bought a little more this morning on this dip to 63K. I think kind of at like a minimum, I really expect us to trade like this 69K or so level. Like it makes a lot of sense to me to have like an underside retest of the all-time high right now because there hasn't been any forceful downward momentum on Bitcoin, right? Like if I pull up a weekly chart of Bitcoin, like yes, it's selling off a little bit, but there's no like mega gaps on these candles. You've got these wicks that are being bought up. It's sort of drifting a little bit lower, yeah, but I don't see like a mega sell off. Even on the daily, right? No fair value gaps on the down move, so no impulsive move down, no closes below the lows. Like these things to me are not indicative of like an immediate impending like explosion. So
yes, give me that complacency, give me that dad cat.
So that's kind of where I'm at on Bitcoin. I think there's a real possibility that we actually just run this 72.7 level or so, maybe even run the all-time high again. There's a lot of liquidity up there, right?
Dude, imagine like if that does happen, like everyone's gonna forget about this little pullback. Everyone's gonna be like back in bull mode.
Yeah, for sure. And I think everybody who's kind of like a bear is sort of looking at this order block right here. And like everybody wants to kind of sell up in here, right?
Yeah.
I checked like some of the I use like a high block capital and they have like the liquidation heat maps and there's a just gigantic yellow line here. Obviously this
a bunch
is
of
a lot of
limit orders.
This it stops,
Yeah.
This is like where people would place a buy stop if they're short, right?
Okay.
And as price kind of drifts up towards this 70K level, like that's going to increase because as more and more and more people short going into this zone, that liquidity builds up, and then you have all the makings of a big squeeze where this could like rip through 73K, rip past all-time highs again, even. And that would get people very, very, very excited. I mean, step one is we have to recover this monthly mid-range at 66.6K or so first. Like it is actually possible we just kind of fail to reclaim that. And that would be bad. That would be bad.
So when we get back towards that area, you expect there to be some trouble breaking through that? Is that typically what happens?
Well, I think everybody. What area? The
mid range.
The mid range. I think we're going higher, but like that's like usually like a resistance area. Like a monthly mid range is an area where you would expect price to kind of bump a little bit. That's super normal. But yeah, that's kind of like step one, reclaim that level, and then we can kind of think about higher. I think if we do reclaim that, like I think there is like a pretty good chance there's a nice run on the table. What kind of worries me is like I see a setup for us to nuke pretty hard later, right? Because we've sort of left these equal lows down here. We got like kind of 3 equal lows, and then it's just like air, which I don't love. And oftentimes when you see this kind of range bound fuckery before they sort of shake everybody out in both directions and then either dump it or pump it, you often see like both sides of the range kind of purged. And oftentimes you see that, like, if you are sort of bearish, you'll often see the bottom of the range purge first, and then price will actually reverse, take the top of the range, and then like the bears who shorted initially, they get stopped out, and then the bulls kind of like get in and they get stopped out, and then.
But those candles, they don't qualify as like breakaway gaps for you, like.
What candles?
Those 3 really large up candles, before we went sideways. Just
before we
before we got into
March?
this range, like before we got into this range to the left of that, you see 3 really big candles that like might just be breakaways.
Yeah, but like when you have a move like this, price is typically seeking some sort of objective, right? And price, there was no larger objective than 69K, right here.
That was the previous high.
So once price takes that liquidity, you can't be looking down at these gaps being like, oh, look at these gaps. Like they're going to, well, no, like the draw has been met in my mind. Like the objective has been met. Now you either go down, pick up more fuel and then go back up, or you sort of go sideways for a bit, reaccumulate, and then go back up. But like I don't put any stock in that.
Okay.
For the people kind of listening or watching at home as to what this could look like that I have my kind of eyes on, it's this sort of like move where we kind of take the top of this range and then possibly dump down after that.
Oh man,
that's like a thing that's in my brain, and this would be like a very nasty scenario.
That would cause a lot of pain.
This is a classic one. You trap the bears initially, and then you liquidate them on the way up. You get everybody excited. Everybody buys the breakout. Oh, now we're definitely going. But actually, like all the people who bought, now they just become the fuel to just drive price to Hades on the downside. So just a scenario.
God, yeah.
Just a scenario. We have to be prepared for that. And
it's good to even have that in the back of our minds in any case, you know, like that is very helpful.
Yeah. And this is sort of like a common fractal you see, right? So this is our all-time high break. And normally when you break a high at all-time high or some sort of key high and you want price to kind of continue, you want to see like forceful momentum through that level, and you don't really want to see that level even tested again. That's like the marks of like a really good breakthrough. And like we've already broken through and kind of gone back through it. So like you will often see a scenario where this candle here runs this high, closes back inside, and then people are like, oh my God, this candle closed above, we're good. No, it's not. It doesn't work that way, right? It's a decent sign, but I don't really want to see this candle as a follow-up to that candle.
There's not enough oomph there when we broke through the highs.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's entirely possible, by the way, like as we've said, that like Bitcoin just goes sideways. I'm not too worried about Bitcoin. I'm more worried about alts. So let's pull up total 3 just for a second here, because actually no, I want total 3. Where's total 3? Okay, so there's our total 3. Looks decent enough on the monthly, but I want to call your eye to what happened here the last.
So sorry, total 3 is all of crypto excluding Bitcoin, ETH?
Yes.
Okay.
And I should take out the stable coins as well, but I'm feeling kind of lazy right now. Anyway, last bull cycle was pretty interesting. We had this sort of breakout, and then we had one top and then another surge, right? And then we dumped, obviously, over the summer. And there's a lot of similarities I potentially see here. One thing that's interesting, if you were sort of like a person who doesn't have a lot of TA background or whatever, but you just want kind of like easy guides to where do I buy things. The 0.618 fib is pretty magical. By the way, I have you may have noticed I have a new chart background. I changed everything up, so some of my
yeah, I do notice that.
Yeah, so some of my stuff doesn't show up as well.
I'm wondering. Let me know in the chat if that's better or worse, because like it's kind of harder for me to see, but
make my
cool.
618 a little. You know, like I was staring at this like black chart all day, and it was just like it was just kind of dark. So yeah, now it's like lighter and airier, and I can see it better.
Okay.
Anyway, yes. So if you just sort of fib out the entire move, right, you'll notice a lot when you look at altcoins that this 0.618 level is kind of magical. You'll see that this is where we bounced here. This is where we formed the double bottom. This is the 2021 cycle, and then we went back up, right? And then look at the timing of this, right? So this is like April, early April. We put in this first drive, and then early May we put in the second drive, dump in the summer, right? And I kind of see a similar thing playing out.
And the timing lines up. Why does the timing have to line up like this?
I know. Like I'm seeing a lot of parallels to what happened last cycle right now, not just in crypto price action, but in terms of interest rates and just a lot of stuff in the macro. It's interesting. So the similar thing here. We have a drive and a retrace, and then we have another drive. Like this one doesn't quite take that high, ends up forming like a double top pattern, but you know, this is late March and then early April. So, you know, similar time of year. And if you kind of fib this whole thing out, blah, 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 blah. I won't use that wick, but what I see when I look at this chart, there are a couple things, right? One, I see this fair value gap. Like this is a pretty nasty move, right? Would kind of shock me 0% actually if we just dump off of that. It would
right.
kind of make complete sense. It's a thing that I'm kind of worried about at the moment, and I have already de-risked a little bit because of this possibility. When I see a move like this, I'm just like, okay, like price wants something, buyers are exhausted, sellers have taken over. It's sort of searching for some sort of liquidity. It's searching for demand, and like I see demand down here. You know, so we're at 652 billion market cap. The mid-range of this is like 488 billion. So I kind of feel like we're going to end up down here. And what else is down here? The 618 fib. Right?
Oh, wow.
So
the old confluence of data supporting your idea, huh?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think we could kind of make another drive up and put in sort of like a top here, and then but like my default assumption is that we go down this summer and kind of pick up steam and then go back up again. So I'm not really trying to buy any dips on alts right now, other than as like my trades right now they're just perps.
Yeah.
They're short term. I don't really want to buy any spot here. I'm not super dying to.
I don't really, you know me, I don't really play in the what would be included in the total 3 very much.
I know you just like your
like my majors.
You just like your majors. Yeah, I don't know. I think if the market gives you a gift and it goes up from here, or even at this point, like if you are overexposed, if you're leveraged, if you're like just take some off. Sure, I could be wrong, and we could just go back all the way up. But like, you can always get back in. You know,
you can always get back in.
There's no rule against kind of getting back in. So, yeah, that's my default assumption right now. I have been kind of slowly selling some whatever remaining I don't have like a ton of trash left, but been kind of selling it on the pumps. One of the things I've been thinking about is what's going to happen to the memes from here. And there's like a lot of discrepancy between the memes. So Doge, for example, doesn't look great. look great.
Bitcoin of memes.
I could see it kind of putting in a little classic head and shoulder there or something. It doesn't look super amazing. Probably gonna honestly sell a lot of my Doge. Like if we go back up to 18, not all of it because I do want a long-term bag, but just trying to be a trader. Pepe, on the other hand, has had a very nice move. Like I can make an argument for like a long on Pepe here. I mean, I really want to see. I really want to see this high closed above though, because this could just be a little sweep and then we go lower. But if we run this high, this starts to look like your classic little sort of like accumulation, manipulation, and then you'd expect like a nice pump higher. And I'm open to the idea that some of these memes can be like completely decorrelated from other stuff. Like Ethereum could bleed to death for like 2 months, and then like Pepe could rip. Like these things are super possible. So
that's not my base case.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to look at all the charts sort of individually.
Yeah. Right.
And then you have stuff like Ondo, which we've talked about, which again, it's
Ondo
kind
just
of more of the
keeps winning.
Yeah, more of like the Bitcoin vibe where it's just sort of pumped mega hard and is just consolidating. So like I wouldn't shock me if that chart ripped higher.
Have you followed anything that's going on like the Bitcoin latest developments like runes and stuff? Has that impacted your thoughts on anything?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot. I thought Bread from the Discord had some good takes. I think what we talked about last week is probably the shtick. I think this is probably ultimately bullish for miners. I think it probably doesn't really bring new people into Bitcoin, but it does generate activity on Bitcoin.
More
that could be
fees.
Fee generation. It has been very funny, like seeing Bitcoiners just all doing the ETH thing.
Yeah, they're just like 2 years later or 3 years later.
With like worse UX.
Yeah,
like if that was even possible.
More expensive.
You did see Mara like turbo pump off the bottom there. So it seems people in the market may be aware of this narrative. That was a hell of a move from Mara. If you could, I think it was 42% move.
Damn. What's the low there?
We went from 14 to 20 in a span of like 5 days.
Okay.
So big pump there. I don't know this. If I zoom out on the Mara chart though, it doesn't look mega amazing to me, and it's still sort of like it's a similar thing that I see on alts, which is that like it's like okay, we dipped, but like I think we keep dipping. I want to see like the bottom of this zone kind of explored. It's most plausible to me that we kind of run and then just put in like another lower high and then have the final bottom and then kind of go up.
Yeah.
So I could be interested in buying some Mara, sub $13, maybe even single digits, depending on how crazy stuff gets. I think buying it up here is kind of a suicide mission, so I don't own any at the moment. But I think it's a trade we're gonna like keep on our radar for sure. We've talked about it.
I still hold my leaps. I bought them in the single digits for like 2 years out. Still just holding them. I'm gonna hold them for.
I mean, it's a nice thing about leaps. You get time. You paid for the theta. You might as well use it.
Yeah, and like I'm still highly profitable on the trade, so I'm fine.
Yeah. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, the other interesting thing in the charts that I feel like we've kind of mentioned this, but gold, baby.
Freaking
gold.
Peter Schiff was right the whole time.
Basically the best chart in the world.
Yeah.
Like if you just want to like it's a good chart. This is gold monthly, and it looks good. I mean, you had a very, very, very. How long is this consolidation? This is like years. This is 4 years. This is like this is like chain link status. Just went sideways for 4 years, and then like God candle. Maybe that's a poor analogy because I think chain link just had one candle in it, and now it's over. Sorry, Marines. But yeah, I've actually been looking to and have added some gold exposure to my portfolio. So maybe
No
let's use
way.
that as a transition to the moves of the week.
Okay.
So I think I told you guys, like, I bought some Bitcoin. I'm in a long Bitcoin trade. I've been selling some other stuff down in my portfolio, looking to raise more cash, looking to buy lower this summer. You guys know that. But some of like the weirder moves I've made, I bought GLD options.
He's a gold bug
I'm
now.
a gold bug.
Wow.
About GLD calls.
I never thought I'd see this version of you, man. This
I know.
evolution is weird.
Look, I like a good chart when I see one. Let me pull up the GLD chart. I hate the non-futures charts. They have all these gaps that look gross. Actually, let me talk about gold first. I think gold is going to 2,600 or so as a first stop, and then I can see us kind of pushing 3K. So this could be a pretty sweet trade. This kind of ties into what we were alluding to earlier, which is the kind of shakiness in bonds, bond yields, potentially picking up, the market not feeling so good about U.S. debt, and then sort of sniffing out inflation, money printing, all these things that make gold go boom. So I think it's an interesting thing to have in your portfolio if you're like a shitcoin or two, because it probably is like a bit of a hedge against some of the other stuff you have.
A counterweight against all that
yeah,
shit.
it's probably going to do well while your hatted dogs and such end up going down. So yeah, I like that. So with that gold target in mind, I did buy GLD calls. I think I bought, what did I buy? Yeah, I bought 230. No, I bought 225s. About 225s for, I think, middle or end of June.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing that does, 'cause I didn't go mega bull on this trade because I got kind of counter signals on like the higher and lower time frames. Like we did have I'm gonna go back to gold. We did have like a mega nasty sell off in gold. So like even though the monthly chart looks kind of god tier, if you zoom into the daily, we did have this kind of nuke. So just gives me a little bit of pause, but I still think it doesn't matter that much because I think on the weekly chart, this is obviously a mega bullish weekly chart, and then I just the trade idea is basically that we're just sort of sweeping this weekly fair value gap, and that because we are bullish, expecting higher prices, like I am, the trade idea anyway is that we're going to sort of rocket off of this and go higher. So I got that one on. Another interesting one I've been looking at because I heard Cuppy talk about this one actually. Have you heard of? Hold on, let me pull up my notes for a quick second here.
Yeah, and I'll just finish a thought on gold while you're looking that up. I saw like 100-year chart on the price of gold, and it literally tracks inflation, like from a long-term perspective. So I'm not really that interested in owning gold, but like for a trade, obviously we're playing different games, but for a trade could make sense. But I guess there's a fundamental reason why you'd own it too. Inflation's running pretty high.
Oh, that's the ticker, AMARK. Yeah, have you heard of AMARK?
No.
AMARK's kind of like a interesting gold beta play, sort of. So they make like coins, I guess, gold coins. So
okay, those are probably so popular right now.
This is like basically just like you're mega bullish on the boomers just doing boomer shit.
Dude, I heard that Costco is like selling out of their little gold coins right now.
Yeah. So this thing looks like consolidating, possibly in the process of going mega boom. And I think, again, you will see the thing that we like to see. So we got this lovely little demand zone here. And then this is kind of like the same setup I use a lot. You get this long period of consolidation, and then you have a manipulation leg. You see that? Swept everything. And now we got a impulsive move higher. So
okay, this one now,
setup.
this has my attention. I like this.
Yeah. But the question you should be asking yourself, though, which is I think is a good question, is like, well, do I buy this or do I just buy gold? So I think you can chart AMRK versus GLD, also kind of an interesting chart, and you can kind of see that like for a while. This is a monthly chart. Like you've been better off holding gold, but it seems that AMRK is in the process of doing the same exact thing with gold that it's doing versus the dollar. So we have this kind of same setup. So I can see a pretty good argument for why this is ultimately going to be just sort of like a consolidation, deviation into here, manipulation move, whatever you want to call it, and then a big expansion move out of the zone. So I like this play. I sold some of my MicroStrategy and bought this instead because I was like, why do I own MicroStrategy?
Yeah, I just quickly.
It was just a thing I had where I was just like, I'm just gonna buy this.
It was working. It was working for a long time.
Yeah, it's fine.
I just quickly looked up whether or not AMRK has an options chain, and it does. So
it does.
I'm excited.
Well, I should stop being a bitch and just buy the options then.
Yeah, I want to play this game now.
So yeah, a cool play to look at. Sorry guys, not a crypto coin, but they do make coins. So
it's literally a coin.
Basically the same thing. Just want to give you guys something to degen on, while all the other stuff goes down. So hopefully that's of interest to you guys. I know you had another interesting TradFi play you wanted to run by me. So
oh yeah.
What do you got?
So the ticker symbol is CRS Carpenter Technologies, I believe. I'm always looking for ways to get exposed to upside plays that are like outside of the beta that I already have. Like everything I own is like tech, semiconductors, crypto, GLP-1 drugs.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds right. So this is interesting. We were talking about, I think on the week that you were gone on Alfalfa, I actually teased this. Are you familiar with the Sohn conference? The
Sohn conference.
Sohn Investment Conference in New York. They do it once a year, and it's like it brings in all these like value investor heavyweights, and it costs like $4,000 to get a ticket to this thing. But they post some of their presentations on their YouTube page. Mm-hmm. So I've been going through some of them. One guy did Ethereum. I think you probably saw that one.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, I was like,
it's that conference.
It's that conference. So I've been going through some of these presentations, and this one I thought was my favorite. And
is it ticker CRS?
CRS. Carpenter Technology.
My dad used to have a mug that said CRS on it.
Oh my God, stars are aligning.
It said, I suffer from CRS, and then you turned it around and it said, can't remember shit.
That sounds like such a dad mug.
Anyway, continue.
Okay, so what this company does is they sell alloys to the manufacturers of planes. So like the engines of the plane. And that is very uncorrelated to my portfolio.
Okay.
But I do think it falls into a vertical that we have discussed on the pod previously, which is like this leisure vertical, like travel, leisure. You see like travel's off the charts right now. And this is like not a cyclical thing in my mind. This is like a systematic change. People are valuing experiences over things. You see like wealth being generated in...
It's like a millennial zoomer kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think like as like developing nations get more wealthy, they're going to be flying more. So we have the biggest order backlog for new planes in history. 16,000 planes, new planes between Boeing and Airbus. Okay. And the manufacturers of these parts, there are many, but with these like with the engine that's highly specialized, and there are only 3 OEM manufacturers that are like approved to do this. So they have really good pricing power over the Boeing and Airbus. So they've increased their prices by 40% over the last 2 years, and the demand is just insatiable. It takes like 5 to 7 years for them to like build new manufacturing. So they're supply constrained and demand is off the charts. What does that mean? Higher pricing. We're seeing that over the last 2 years. Management has forecasted that they're going to triple earnings by 2027. And what I saw on this presentation was that the new contracts they're signing right now are already at a higher price than they anticipated in 2027. So this thing trades at 17 times earnings. Forecast for $10 of earnings, apply that multiple, it's $170 stock. That's like a double from here. And its peer group trades at 20 and 30 times earnings. So I think there's upside to that even.
All right. We like that.
Yeah.
We've got some stonks in the portfolio. We're no stranger to the stonks.
Yeah, I'm long.
This is an old-ass company, man. Like, I got a 3-month chart up.
Yeah.
This is a 3-month chart. This chart starts in 1968.
Yeah. There's only 2 other companies that can sell these engine parts, and it's just like an oligopoly, and they have pricing power.
Yeah, they're crushing. They're up smooth 240% from 2022 lows. Like it. The weekly chart's probably going to look really nice. Oh yeah, looks pretty sexy.
It kind of looks like the NVO chart that we were looking at before.
It does. Like if you just really zoom in and you get rid of those kind of other candles. Like look at boom. That's an uptrend, sir.
Yeah,
it's a smooth uptrend.
I like this one.
I like it. Worth taking a look at for sure. CRS is the ticker, guys. A little bit of an obscure one for you. I'm gonna check the chat real quick, see how everybody's doing here. I
think there's just actually like pretty good alpha by looking at the Sohn Conference YouTube. By the way, it's like not even CRS, but all of them. Like there's so many good picks in there.
I'll have to check that out. Sambo said AMRK is a darling, 23.6% short interest and 11 days to cover ratio, or 11x days to cover.
Whoa, so people are short as fuck? What?
Yeah, I guess. He also said WPM is the blue chip gold miner. The chart is sick. Gold miners are one of those things I feel like I never want to buy because I feel like they always suck, but maybe it's their time. Oh, this thing is sending. Yeah, I mean, that's actually a pretty good looking chart. Bro, this is the Coinbase formation. Look at that.
I like that. I like the noise and the last drawing you did.
It is. I mean, this is a great setup. Look at that. See?
Wow.
I wouldn't lie to you. This is a little inverse head and shoulder.
Oh yeah.
3 and zoom.
Holy cow.
Yeah, what was that? WPM? This is a good this is a good looking chart. So yeah, we're probably gonna breach that neckline soon, and that's just off to the races. I don't know, man. Like I need more gold.
I know. This wasn't even on my radar, but now, I mean, what I'll do is I'll just like do some call option, sort of like lotto tickets. Because like if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you don't lose that much.
It's an interesting thing to think about because we always talk about how, if you're going to put on a trade, you shouldn't be putting on proxies to the trade. You should just sort of like put on trade. And, we like Bitcoin because it's sort of like a proxy for gold with like the money printing that we see coming. But like also you could just buy gold and you could buy basically high beta gold with some of these miners would probably rip more than Bitcoin will. In terms of like a percentage basis,
yeah,
but they have been like a very, very shitty and difficult thing to buy and trade. So
totally
DYOR on that one, guys, for sure. All right, let's close up the episode with some charts here from the viewers.
Yeah, chart me, daddy.
Let's chart. So people are wondering a little bit on the memes. Everybody loves the memes. Are the memes on the verge of death? I showed you Doge, which looked sketch. I showed you Pepe, which is on the verge of looking pretty good. And then obviously we've got the
hat coins,
the dog with the hat, which I feel like is kind of like a really good gauge for meme sentiment. This chart looks kind of sketch to me. I mean, it's not necessarily mega terrible. Like this, I mean, we did basically just put in like a higher low, I think. Yeah, so we didn't even run that low. So you could say to yourself, okay, yeah, this was your demand, put in this high, we retrace, and now we're going to go up. I don't know. Like there's something about this chart that is giving me like PTSD from the past. I get nervous when I see like all of this sort of like all of this like liquidity here at the bottom, like these equal lows. I don't like this, right? I feel like this is just like a magnet.
And what level is that? Are the equal lows at?
So we're talking about $1.96 on the chart.
Okay.
And then, you know, I'm gonna pull up the WIF chart with all of the data. That's just the Binance chart, or where is that chart? Damn, I don't know where it is. Anyway, whatever.
Voila.
We're just gonna wing it. I guarantee you that. Oh, this is market cap. That's why it looks bad. Sorry, it's my first time. There it is. Dog WIF hat. Boom, we did it. Okay. Now the chart, I think, looks a little bit scarier, which is what I want. I want you to be scared.
Well, it is looking like it's forming a little head and shoulders action.
Could be. We got these equal lows here, and then we got all this like this whole area here is just like air, right? And we talked earlier about the 618, right? So if I do a just sort of lifetime 618 on WIF, didn't quite get there. So I think there's a really good chance you get to buy the dog with a hat for like $1.50 again.
What's the 618? What's the 618 level on this one?
It'd be $1.90, $1.91.
Oh.
It's basically your
That's the confluence.
lifetime range, 618. So yeah, that looks pretty good to me. So I don't know. I think we can go higher for sure from here, because these things can get pretty stupid, like even when they're about to break. Like you could sort of make the case this is like this is basically like a Wyckoff schematic, right? Because you got you say, oh, this is your preliminary supply, and this is your buying climax, and this is your sign of weakness. But that would still allow for your little up thrust, even run that, and then right. So I think definitely a possibility, and I am super bullish on this coin for the long run. I don't know when the long run is. Like the cycle right now is just giving me the kind of 2019 echo bubble vibes. You remember we had that like mega pump off the bottom, but nobody was really there yet. And Bitcoin went to what? It went to like 14K and then back down to 3K.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if we're doing anything that severe, but like that was way before the actual cycle ever started. Like maybe the real cycle is like starting. Maybe this is like we're kind of coming into 2020, like summer of 2020, fall 2020. Trump wins, and then the kind of first presidency year of Trump, first year or two. That's the cycle. That's when everybody kind of pours back in. Like I said, we're just kind of playing PvP games. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a non-hat believer, and I do have a decent hat bag still, but it's like hard for me to see how this thing can just run from here straight to $10, $20, whatever. Like I do kind of feel like we need to kind of just rinse, and I want that cash for higher. And I think a lot of memes probably do this, and a lot of people are probably like, you losers, you bought these meme coins. What did you think was going to happen? Morons.
Yeah, I think that voice needs to be fed a little bit. Like,
and I want to back up the truck when I hear that voice.
Right. But it's got to be given its time.
Back up the truck. So I'm still probably like 2 or 3 or 4% in memes right now. It's probably about my portfolio average.
Damn.
And they're good memes.
I thought it'd be way higher, honestly.
It was way higher, but I cut like a lot because I was just like, do I want to be 10% memes right now? Not.
How high did you actually get
really
in the meme allocation?
I get to like 10.
I thought you were like 60%, honestly. Because I
of my entire portfolio in
memes?
memes?
Because I thought you were like,
bro.
I know you have a lot of your portfolio in crypto at large, and then I can just hear your voice saying like, memes. Well, what's the fastest horse? Why would I own this if this is going to go up more?
I mean, like that's true if you think the race has like 7 laps left and it's not like in the last leg. But yeah, I would probably be patient with this one. Maybe we'll be clipping this in 9 months and sending her out on Twitter and dunking on me as we're at $10 and I sold most of my bag. But it is what it is.
If Whiff's at $10, I feel like the crypto market is doing very well, and you're going to be pretty happy either way.
Yeah, like I'm not. To be clear, I'm not getting all out of crypto. I'm just raising cash, baby. Just raising cash. I do think there is some percentage chance that there is a much larger nuke that people are not expecting that happens. Not a high probability, but it is definitely priced into my calculations, and I am wanting to buy that. Yeah, everything just lines up pretty well with like the whole everything about the 2020 cycle right now. But it's almost like we're doing like the end of the 2020 cycle, but at the beginning of it. We're kind of have this kind of, we talked about that little 2 drive, almost double top thing on the altcoins, possibly like the 618 retrace in the summer, rebuy, and then we go. And that was like a similar pattern to what happened kind of at like the end of the 2021 cycle. But also we did have the echo bubble before, and then summer was kind of dead, summer 2020, and then the DeFi thing happened. And then before you knew it, like mega moon. We do have the ETH BlackRock deadline in August, like potential catalyst. I don't think like it's just going to be approved and then we go. Like I actually think there's a decent chance like we have like the sell in May happens, right? Maybe ETH dumps to like 25 or something, and people are like, oh my God, panic, which is kind of what happened last bear. But then like I think cooler heads prevail, and they're like, wait, the merge is coming. And they're like, wait, the ETF is coming. And then eventually, before that event even happens, people kind of start stepping in and buying. So that's why I don't think we're going to go like mega low or anything in that coin anyway, maybe in some of the trash. But yeah, I'm kind of planning on mid-summer, maybe starting the accumulation again. All subject to change, of course. All subject to change as the data comes in. I got a request in the YouTube chat for Jasmy. I do not know what Jasmy is.
Just tell yourself that it is like a gold play.
Jasmy. The first thing that stands out to me as I look at the monthly chart, this is like a common sort of I don't know if you want to call it a fractal or whatever that I use when trading, right? So I think we talked about this a little bit last week maybe, but you often have this setup where you get this like really big expansion candle, right? And it leaves behind a fair value gap. And your question is like, is that going to be a breakaway gap, or is price going to fill that gap? Mm-hmm. And I think I said it last week, but one of the interesting things to me is to look at the next candle and what the next candle does. And that candle often can give you an indication of what might happen in, the candles to follow. And when you're talking about doing this with a monthly candle, like one candle can give you like a lot of info. Like you can be talking about what might happen over the next 2 or 3 months, right? And you can kind of do like one little checkup and be like, oh, that's the level I want to buy. It's just one level on a chart. And then you can kind of save yourself from looking at, the 4-hour chart, which is just like, what is going on here? This is a gigantic mess, right? So on whatever the hell this coin is, not an endorsement of this coin. Like I said, I don't know what it does. But you can see that the March candle, see how we swept the Feb candle high and closed back inside of it?
Yep.
And this is basically like also just classic swing fail pattern here, SFP. You get the high, sweep it, and another kind of lower high. Like if this is where the month ends up closing, it's a bearish pattern, right? So when I see this happening, the next candle fails to close above, like it, very strong indicator that we're going to go for the low of the candle that failed to close above and then test this gap, right? So on this particular coin, that's 0.015. So that would kind of be the first target. And then I would also be looking at the mid-range of that gap as like a second target. And then I also, again, like to use the fibs as sort of a sanity check. So in here, you could, again, do that thing where we just kind of fib out this entire range. And again, my eye is drawn to the 618. Where is the 618? It is right there. So Yeah, I think if you're bullish on this coin, I think you probably get to buy it around 0.0125, 0.011.
That's a good way to put it. If you're bullish, you're going to get a good chance.
Yeah, and look, I think everything just goes up, so it probably is bullish eventually. But this is a negative 40% maybe from here. Which, if this is kind of like a low alt cap altcoin, maybe that's not that big of a deal. But you can kind of see how that simplifies when you zoom in on the chart, and you're like, oh my god, what is all this crap? And it's actually just like, oh, I'm actually just expecting all of this to basically get swept, right? All of it. I think there's a decent chance that, when I look at the daily here, right, again, with the context I've drawn out from the monthly, there's a decent chance that this low holds here. Was this 0.012? Because this is already like a run of the monthly low. It's in this monthly fair value gap. It's right at the 0.61 level. So, yeah, it wouldn't shock me if that particular zone holds, and that's basically like the the last demand that kind of pumped us to a new high. So it makes sense that we're going to kind of retest the bottom end of that again. Whether or not it holds is kind of like whatever. Like if you're buying this thing at 0.013 or 0.011, it's just like you're probably buying it because you're thinking it's going to go like 10x or something, and you're not really concerned about the next 10 15% down at that point. You're probably just wondering, like, do I buy it here? Am I going to miss the move up? And, again, like when I look at this on a lower time horizon, this is not like a mega bullish chart. You've got this basically double top kind of formation, and then all of this liquidity here, right? So
yeah, I think we get it, dude.
Pretty good short.
You're bullish. I mean, you're super bullish on this.
But I digress, and I am rambling. Let me see. What do we got in here? MFer, dog. Okay, we'll do MFer. We'll do dog. Dante DeFi. ETH is my most hated bag. Yeah, it is a hated bag.
Yeah, sounds right.
It's my largest. It's my largest bag, and I hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but
it's fine. I'm just cool. It's a long-term play. It's cool. All right, I got MFer in the chat. I got dog and OP. We're gonna do MFer, dog, and OP, and we're gonna call it a stream, boys. All right. I know the people have been wanting MFer. I don't know if MFer is on. Yeah, there's not a lot of data here, so let me pull up Dex Screener real quick. Dex Screener, if you guys don't know, is just the epic tool for charting like the shittest of shitcoins. Yeah, people like the MFer coin. For those of you who don't know, MFer is basically the meme coin that drops to the MFer NFT holders. This is on base, right? There it is. MFer coin. I don't personally understand this coin. I like MFers. I think they're cool. Maybe the coin goes up, but like, I don't know. Is this meme going to attract people like outside of crypto? Is this just a PvP crypto meme? I don't know. You tell me. This is kind of like a hard chart to say anything about. Like, it's an airdrop. It mega pumped and then it dumped, right? I don't have a lot of past data to reference here. You did go down a smooth 89%. So I would say if you're like a little bit bullish, it's probably okay to just
buy here,
start accumulating some here. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice move off the bottom, but like from like a higher time frame price structure, right? This is sort of your low here. We break this low, right? Now this is your, I don't know how to use Dex Screener. This is your lower low. And then here's our final lower low as we bottom at 0.036, right? So just from a price action perspective, this low came from this high. So for like the highest of time frame market structure, like this is still kind of bearish until we kind of clear that high. at like 0.011. So what if you want the bull case, like I could squint and say, okay, God, I hate Deck Screener for doing stuff. Where are my tools, man? Okay, there we go. You could squint and say, okay, this is a double bottom. And like I wouldn't hate you for saying that, like, because this is typically where I'm saying like, okay, I can get bullish. Like either one, you kind of run the protected high and you shift market structure, or two, you tap this zone here, the sort of supply that put in the low, you tap it and then you kind of put in like another bottom and then go. So I would feel better about this bottom if it came from here. Like if we kind of retrace again to this like 04 level, I might feel good about buying it. But like, I don't know. I don't have a super good read on this coin, guys, honestly. And it's not really a chart like I'm itching to buy, but like I'll just throw it up there for you.
That's nice of you. Yeah. You know me, I don't buy this shit.
Yeah. Dog. Yeah, Dog's interesting. I own some Dog. Dog is the Doge NFT. I think this is actually like an interesting.
You pulled this one up a couple weeks ago.
Oh my God! Wait, is this the right chart? Did they just massacre my boy when I wasn't looking? Was it just a Poloniex thing? Wait, hold up.
Yeah, now you're actually
what just happened?
Nervous about your bags.
Maybe I should just do it on. Okay, yeah, it was just Poloniex being a dick. Yeah, I mean, this is a similar thing to Doge right now. It's kind of similar chart. You get your little potential head and shoulders in the making. I don't know. I should probably de-risk this, to be honest. If I can get... Wait, is this just Dogecoin?
You're on Dogecoin, dude.
It says Dogecoin, Dog, US dollar, easy. It's because I'm on these... Oh, God damn it. I knew this wasn't the right chart. Sorry, guys. I'm going to do it on Deck Screener. Unbelievable. The Doge NFT. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't remember it looking that bad. This is a better looking chart than Dogecoin for sure, but I don't know. Like, I still see like a... Fuck you, Deck Screener. Just go fuck yourself, seriously. Oh, God.
You get it figured out?
I still just see like a bit of a double top there. When I see this and then I see a zone below it, right? So this is your demand here that put in the high. Normally, when I see a double top like this, I'm expecting price to revisit the demand that put in the high. Potentially even run below that put in the high. So I think this probably goes back to 7 or 8 cents or so, would be my guess. I don't have a huge bag of it. I think it's like an interesting coin to own in a meme portfolio. I'm kind of undecided how much this is like actually going to be a thing versus it's like a narrative kind of constructed by the key opinion leaders on the Twitters, if you will. So I'm not like overly in it, but interesting coin. And yeah, I think you probably get to buy it 50% lower or so. OP. OP has been a painful chart. I still continue to own no OP, but it's kind of getting to the point where you're wondering, should I maybe buy some OP? Man, what a fail. So at a super high level, right, this entire swing is basically like a gigantic demand zone. Tapped off the 50 there. So this like $2 level, generally speaking, is kind of interesting, but there is the question in my head, is this just going to full retrace all the way down to $1.50 or so? I think the answer is maybe. Right now, you got weekly fair value gap here. So you would expect price to probably reject off this and at least attempt to make another low. If it looks like you're double bottoming here, $1.80 or so, could be an interesting spot to buy. Maybe even like $2 or so. But if I'm right about the altcoin market, like I think this thing probably goes to $1.50. But look, if you're long-term bullish on this thing, you are solid 50% off the highs right now. Like, you just buy some here. It's totally fine. Just buy some here, and then keep in mind that you're probably also going to get to buy some at $2, and you might get to buy some at like a $1.50, $1.60 as well. Just keep that in the back of your head. So yeah, maybe divide your buys into 3. Maybe do the rule of 3 on it.
You like that? You like that style?
Yeah. Amos said I need to check the Discord for a question. So Amos, I will do that for you and see what's in here. We got a bunch of these things. Keho also asked, ETHBTC chart looks rough. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about the ETHBTC chart a lot. I don't think my analysis on it has changed. I actually think it's kind of a good spot, right? Because it's been at a similar spot for a while, which is that like it basically just reverses very hard from here relatively soon, or you're wrong and then we lose this level and we bleed to what is it, 0.034 or something. Oof. Cal said a lot of people are saying we are in a super cycle and Bitcoin and Ethereum will never have another prolonged bear market due to spot Bitcoin ETFs. Do you think they are right, or can Bitcoin see another typical 4-year market cycle, prolonged bear market where it goes 70%, et cetera, et cetera? Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, Bitcoin could not work and just go down one cycle and like never come back. That's definitely a possibility.
Dude, we have like we have sustained inflows. Like if you use the TradFi market as a proxy, right? We have sustained inflows through 401ks and everything, and we go through freaking bear markets there all the time. Like it's never gonna.
If the S&P can lose 60%, I promise you, Bitcoin can lose 70%.
Yeah.
I do think that the cycle part of it is kind of a meme. I'm actually very open to the idea that we're not going to have these like 4-year cycles where things go way up and goes way down. I think it'll sometimes go down 30%. I think it'll sometimes go down like 70. It'll probably go down 70 or 80% again at some point. I think I would bet like more likely than not it goes down 70% plus again. It is true that like having these instruments and having this like new sort of flow like does maybe put like a bit of a floor on it and changes the dynamic a bit, but like I definitely would not be hanging my hat on the idea that like there's both no 4-year cycles and we just never do like a mega drawdown again with the prolonged bear. It's definitely in the cards. So hopefully that was you, Amos, in there. Okay, one more. What is this? RFKJ. All right, this is the last one. C6 Surf. RFKJ. I don't know what that is. RFKJ.
Junior. RFK Junior.
Oh, Independence Day. Wait, is this the Constitution one? Or just, it's just the meme coin?
RFK Junior's meme coin.
RFK Junior meme coin? This is probably a nah. So I want to like just mega disclaim the meme coins because like I don't think you can do TA on stuff where there are not fair market forces acting, right? Like if you, for example, own the entire supply of a coin, you can just make the chart look like whatever the hell you want to make it look like, and they paint the chart, make these nice support levels, and then just nuke it all in one candle, right? And it's all just like a fucking facade. And although I love memes, I think the vast majority of these coins are like manipulated, right? Like there's this idea that, and I'm probably guilty of propagating this myself, but this idea that like memes are like more fair than a lot of VC type coins. And I think that's true for some of them, right? I think it's definitely true for something like Dogecoin, right? And you have this like defined inflation supply. There's not token unlocks, all this stuff, right? But a lot of these coins, there are just teams that are just, or not even teams, they're just devs or whoever. They're just deploying these things en masse. and they are just like sniping the entire supply when they deploy it, and they're doing it across like multiple wallets and spreading it out so you can't really tell. And then like when they want to dump it, they just send all the coins to a wallet in one transaction and nuke the whole thing, right?
Your ledger now. So your Peter Schiff, your ledger.
No, I love memes. I think they're awesome, but like people can't go over. Like the same thing happened with NFTs last cycle. Like NFTs are cool, and they were a cool thing, but like everybody just started scamming the shit out of people with them, and they just became this gigantic trap that did like milk people, right? So there is some room for nuance here. Like you have to be careful, right? Like so, I don't know. Like I don't look at this chart and be like, oh my god, you have to buy this. Or I just it's a 6 million market cap coin with 600K liquidity. I don't know a lot about it, and I just think the generalized market memes is, I don't know, it's everything's a little shaky right now. So we had some fun buying some memes over the last couple of months. We'll buy them again. Some of these things do look good. I would rather just buy like a Popcat type thing where it's kind of like achieves some sort of escape velocity. There's like a ton of liquidity. The market cap's higher. Like sniping these things and picking if they're going to go up or down is kind of like a different kind of game. It's not really super in my wheelhouse. So I don't know that I can give you a good call on this one, bud. But thank you for the question. Ghana, can't believe you guys are not drinking. What happened to the alfalfa guy? I can't drink every night, man. And I gotta go play pickleball after this. I can't pound like 8 beers and then go play pickleball.
God, I was so hungover this morning. Made it to the gym, but yeah, I can't be drinking on alfalfa and irresponsibly long.
Yeah, it's too much. Anyways, guys, we're going to wrap it there. I have once again unsuccessfully made a 1 hour stream as we bring it up into the 90-minute mark. But thank you, as usual, everybody, for coming out and hanging. I love it when you guys come live, bring your questions, bring your coins. Hopefully we gave you a couple good trade ideas. Hopefully gave you a decent picture of what I'm expecting over the next couple months. If that changes, I will of course bring the charts and let you know. But I see what I see right now. Glad you enjoyed the show, Josh. Marty, just saw you in there.
Give us a like if you're still here and you haven't given us a like yet. Please.
Yeah, give the stream a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, all of the things. Thanks for hanging, guys. We'll be in the Alfalfa Pod Discord if you want to talk to us before the next episode. Links at alfalfapod.com. And until then, we will see you same place, same time, 5 p.m. on Thursday next week. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, guys.